press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. Today we are going to deal with a new chapter, that is population of Karnataka. We have been studying, or we have known that India is a very populated country and Karnataka is no less. We do have a lot of population in Karnataka as well, and at the present status that says in 2020 we have 67 million people in Karnataka itself. So imagine the other states contributing into making India a very populated country. So what you are going to study in this chapter is what is the significance of the population of Karnataka, and the size, the growth and the extent of the distribution of population. Where is it distributed? How much of population is distributed where? Which district has the highest population? Which has the least? So all this has been contributing in order to make Karnataka also a populated state. Then what is the effect of overpopulation that is there, and the important cities that have a large population in terms of Karnataka being one state. So what is a population in its own way? We'll discuss the meaning or the definition first, and then go forward into learning what is there. So populations population is something that you have to consider as a very large entity or a large sector that is there. So a group of people living in a particular geographical area. Group of people living in a particular area is called population. Now take it an example in this way, take this example in this way. Now you want to buy a kg of sugar. When you go to the bazaar, you have a sack of sugar that is laid before you. To check the quality of the sugar, do you take the entire sack and see how much of sugar is good in it or no? What do? You pick little and see how much it is. So that's a sample that you're taking. But the rest of the sugar that is there in that sack is the entire population. What is it? It is confined to one sack, okay? And the sack is like this, okay, or a tin that is there, okay? So it's there like this. What do? You just pick out the top layer and see if the sugar is good or no. Do you remove all the sugar that is there from here? No, you don't do. But what is it happening? What is staying in this confined area is called a population. Similarly, apply that here, okay? Now you think people are staying over here. So group of people in a particular geographical area. Now this is an area, maybe you think, this is another piece of land. So group of people living over here in a particular geographical area is called population. Easy as it is. See it again. Group of people staying here, group of people staying here together. When they put together, all these are taken as samples. These samples, when put together, becomes a larger population that is there, and that is the definition of population. Moving forward, why do we need a certain amount of people there or certain number of people there? They are going to help you in development of the state as well as the country on a larger sector. People are needed, isn't it? That's how we stay, but we are being overpopulated, so we'll have to take measures of overpopulation also. Now why do people contribute, or how are people actually important to the society? People have a lot of rational thinking that is there. People are intelligent, they can use their skills, okay, utilize their talents and contribute to what is happening in and around them. And then on a larger sector, if each of them is contributing their skill and talent, that contribution that is happening is making a larger impact on the society as well, as a state as a whole. Okay, on a whole, let's take the state. Each person, each one in that 67 million is contributing something. They may be into any profession for that matter, they may be doing nothing, but still they contribute something because everybody is thinking. Everybody is making use of the energy that they have. So in a way, everybody is contributing little by little, and that is making a larger impact. Okay. Now, all right. Now, in the 2011, just a second. Okay, now the development of the country depends on the size of the population that the country has and the growth rate that is there, the age distribution. Now we are a very young country. A lot of youth are present. We are a young country, and we'll have to balance the age differences also. We'll have to balance the generations also. We can't be having an entire country full of youth because they are going to all age together, and the rest of the population will suffer. So you'll have to have a balance of children, young adults, okay, mature adults, or okay, adults in the later stage of their lives, people in their old age, okay, elderly people. So it should be a balance of age. If you're all having people of the young age, they're all going to age together. And if you take the age group of 21 to 26, if you have a lot of people in this age group, all are going to go into the same years, isn't it? Everybody will be crossing the same path as they are moving forward. Then it will still be people, once they, now if you take people of 21 to 26, when they age together, there will be a lot of old people together, whereas less of youth there. So it should be a balance whenever the population is being distributed. Now that also increases the quality of living. So size of population, Karnataka stands 8th in the country in terms of the rankings in population with respect to the area that it possesses. Then with respect to the area that it possesses, Karnataka stands 8th. In respect to the population, we stand 9th. Then according to 2011 census, the population of Karnataka was 6,11,30,704. At present, 67 million. Then around 3,010,000 and so forth are males, whereas 3,072,662 were females. So see the number of, or rate the ratio between females and males. Now the distribution of population that is there in Karnataka is not equal. It is unevenly divided, just like the land or the water resources or the distribution of rainfall. Everything is uneven. It's not exactly distributed as it is there. So Bengaluru urban is in the first position of having the largest population. Kodagu occupies the last position, that is. So Kodagu has less population that is there. Then after Bengaluru comes Belagavi, Mysore, Tumkur, Kalburgi and Ballari, that are very highly populated, okay, densely populated places that are there. Then after 2011, okay, in 2001 when they had a census, the population of Karnataka was around 5 million, okay. But from 2001 to 2011, we have seen a lot of increase of at least 80 lakh people. Okay, 80 lakh people have been added to the population. So the growth rate at this period from 2001 to 2011 has been 15.67. Now facts and figures, I want you to read and understand for yourself. Okay, 15.67% is the growth rate from 2001 to 2011. Now this growth rate, when compared to the growth rate of the entire India, it is much lower. growth rate of population in India has been 17.64, whereas in Karnataka for these years from 2001 to 2011 is 15.67%. Now, why is there a lesser growth rate than compared to what India is having is because of family planning awarenesses that have been done, okay, programs that have been initiated by people on educating people about family planning. Literacy has been increased, literacy awareness, people are getting educated more, okay, birth control has also been taught, or birth control has been made aware to the people, and so on and so forth. So many awareness creation programs have been implemented and started. Now, density of population, the density of population, understand this, number of people, okay, density of population is number of people living in an area of 1 square kilometer, okay, of 1 square kilometer, that is density of population. So understand it this way here, okay, number of people, okay, how many number of people are over here, number of people in this area of 1 square kilometer is called as density of population. Now, according to the 2001 census, the density of our population or our state was 275 people per square kilometer, 275 people per square kilometer. Now, it has increased to 319 as per the 2011 census. But when we compare our density to the density of India, we are still lower with which is 382 persons per square kilometer in India, but we are in 319. If we have to consider the districts, Bengaluru urban district has the highest density of 4,378 persons per square kilometer, and they occupy the first position. Then it is followed by Dakshin Kannada, Mysore, Bengaluru rural, Dharwad and Kolar. Now, in this, when we compare, Kodagu has the lowest density of 135 persons per square kilometer. Now, distribution of rural and urban population. Rural is the villages, urban is the cities. Karnataka has a lot of villages, that is around 29,406 of them. Now, as per the 2011 census that is there, rural population is around 3.75 crores, that is 61.4%, and 61.4 people live in the rural areas, whereas 38.6% live in the urban areas. The urban population of Karnataka is much greater than what it is in the rural areas, but it is not again equally distributed. Not again equally distributed in all the districts. Again, Bengaluru rural has the highest urban population, where Kodagu has the smallest urban population. Now see students, there is a reference to Bengaluru urban and Kodagu. So everywhere it's the same. You can, it's an easy way to remember, you need not forget it. So the sex ratio that is there in India, that is number of females per 1,000 males is sex ratio. Number of females per 1,000 males is sex ratio. Now, the average gender ratio that was there in 2001 was 965 for 1,000 males, 965 females for 1,000 males. Now, in 2011, it has risen to 968 per 968 is to 1,000. Again, sex ratio is not the same in all the districts. Udupi, Kodagu, Dakshin Kannada and Hassan have more females than males, and less number of males and more number of females in these areas. Udupi district has 1,093 females per 1,000 males. So, female ratio in these areas is more. And that district there, Udupi district has the highest female ratio or the sex ratio in the state. That is again followed by Kodagu, Dakshin Kannada, Hassan. Okay, Bengaluru urban has 908 females per 1000 males, which is the lowest sex ratio in the state. So can you compare, though it being a populated or a dense city, there are less number of females per 1000 males. But districts like Udupi, Kodagu, Dakshin Kannada and Hassan have more females with them. And it is a true fact because if you go to their colleges, you will find more number of girls in the class than the boys. Okay, so that is how it is. Then age structure. Now, according to the 2011 census that is there, our population of children below 15 years of age was 29.7% and old people, that is above 60 years of age, was 5.5%. And the working population, that is between 15 to 60, was 64.9%. So we have to have a balance in the age groups also, because I told you the reason what's going to happen if we don't divide the population properly. Then literacy rate. Literacy is a person who knows to literate. A person who knows to read and write is called a literate. Simple for that matter. Little things also he is called as literate. Okay. Now the average literacy rate in 2011 was 75.6. Now this is a little higher than what is a literacy rate in India, that is 74%. We are 75.6. District-wise literacy is considered, people in Dakshin Kannada have taken the first position, 88.6% of people are literate there. Then Bengaluru urban takes the next position, 88.5. Okay, not much difference with Dakshin Kannada and Bengaluru, 88.6 and 88.5. Udupi takes the third position and Yadgiri takes the next one, 52.4, that has the very lowest literacy rate. Male literacy rate is 82.9, whereas female literacy is much lower than what the males is, that is 68.2. In Karnataka, a lot of literate people are in the urban areas. Now you can make out this kind of a literacy when the board results come. Okay. They give you the district positions. Dakshin Kannada, Udupi, and then maybe some other district comes on top by chance. Otherwise, these board districts are fighting with each other for the first position always. Just check the SLC board marks. By chance, somewhere something happens, but otherwise, they are somewhere in the first, second, third, fourth position, not much below that. But this year, something happened. They went a lot below than what was expected, these two districts. But otherwise, comparatively, I am saying not every year. Sometimes here and there it does, but because of things happening, they are somewhere there on the top line itself. Now, okay, there is a chart given for you down there. Population of Karnataka according to 2011 census. Okay. See there, all the 10 cities have been mentioned for you. Bengaluru, Mysore, Hubli, Dharwad, Mangaluru, Belgavi, Kalburgi, Davangere, Bellary, Vijaypura and Shimoga. Shimoga has the least, okay, 3,22,428. So that is how, observe that table and understand. Go to the map on page 117. See the density of population that is being mentioned. It's the map is not that clear, but still you can figure out what is being laid down for you. Okay, density of population per square kilometer, that is there. All right, we finished the lesson. This was an easy lesson. I'm telling you, facts and figures and digits is you can just read and remember it. There is nothing to be deeply thought about it. Okay. Or deeply teach something. Now if I have to say 78.56, what can I say? I can only say 78.56, okay? So facts and figures, if you get it confused, draw tables and understand, make notes of your own, and that's how you learn. Okay, in the next class, we'll come up with another chapter. This part is also as interesting as your first part and easy lessons comparatively to your previous year. Thank you very much for listening.